Are you looking for that perfect gift to give the musical theater writer in your life? Or are you a musical theater writer yourself and you're wondering what kinds of ideas you should be putting onto a wish list for when people do ask what you want as a gift? So in this video, we're going to talk through the top gift ideas that will inspire creativity, fuel your passion, and take your craft to the next level. From books to software and much more, I got you covered. Let's dive in. Depending on the type of musical theater writer and creator we're talking about, their needs may be very different from one another. I mean, this is one of the creative media that is particularly involved and sprawling between all of the elements, book, music, lyric, and then all the production side of the elements as well. And yet, people are often stumped by the question of what gifts to buy or ask for. Musical writers have very unique and specific needs, and that can definitely make it feel, to an extent, a little bit overwhelming. But today, we're gonna try to make that a bit easier and a little more manageable. I'm going to break this list into categories of gift types, and this is in no way a comprehensive list of all of the possibilities. We'd never leave. And a quick disclaimer, I have not personally tried or experienced every single item on this list. This list is curated from, yes, my own experiences, as well as the recommendations of other writers and by accumulating ideas over the years as I watch other people ask for things or give gifts on the internet and such. For my personal recommendations, however, I will have links and affiliate links in the description below that you can click on and check out if you want to look at those particular items. Category number 1. Books. Let's start with the most obvious category, shall we? Y'all know me by now. I'm gonna start with Stephen Sondheim. You've got the 2 tomes, Finishing the Hat and Look, I Made a Hat. I've said it before and I'll say it again. These 2 books are a masterclass in both lyric writing and also looking at what a career as a musical theater writer could possibly look like. Now, to be fair, none of us are Stephen Sondheim and none of us are ever gonna be. But that being said, these books are incredibly useful in a really deep dive. A common one that I hear tossed about a lot is The Secret Life of the American Musical by Jack Vertel. I've read it, and I would say if you are new to this craft and you want to know a lot of the things that feel like they are secret, it's a great book. A classic is Words and Music by Lehman Engel. If you're not familiar with Lehman Engel, he is the namesake of the Lehman Engel BMI Musical Theater Workshop. So definitely worth paying attention to. How Musicals Work and How to Write Your Own by Julian Wolford. I've not read this one personally, but I have seen it being recommended online a whole bunch, so check it out. There's also the book Writing Musical Theater by Alan Cohen and Stephen L. Rosenhaus. I've seen some mixed reviews on that one, but it does seem to have useful information in it when I went and took a little look, took a little investigation. There's Writing the Broadway Musical by Aaron Frankel. Also, took a look at that one. It does look worth checking out. And then, you know, I'm gonna end with Sondheim, duh. Sondheim on Music, Minor Details and Major Decisions by Mark Eden Horowitz. Now this book, just so you know, is more of a collection of the interviews being done with Sondheim that were then curated down. But boy, if you're looking to pick his brain a little bit about the songwriting process and specifically on the music side of things, get this one. It is so good. There are also plenty of books out there on creativity, inner work, and deeply related topics that you can explore for musical theater writers and creators as well. One that comes to the top of my mind and just might be useful for the creator in your life is The Artist's Way. Now, I have not personally delved into this Julia Cameron book. However, I know a lot of people who have, and they recommend it highly, so do check it out. For the lyricists in your life, I would strongly recommend getting them a physical copy of a rhyming dictionary. My personal recommendation would be the new Comprehensive American Rhyming Dictionary by Sue Young. Now, to be fair, it came out a little while ago, so define contemporary as you will, but honestly, I've not found a better one, like, at all, so it's worth it. And lastly, one of the best ways to learn more about musical theater writer is by reading, studying, and analyzing musical theater scripts and scores. So those are always a welcome gift for musical theater creators. Category number 2. Organization and tools. Now, before you non-creators out there go, oh, but that's boring, let me tell you, for all of us, it's not necessarily boring. Some of us really like organization and tools, so Gimme. The first thing I'll throw out there is a planner. Some people like a paper planner. I do. I am old school like that. I love analog, but a lot of people also enjoy software that is a planner, or doing their planning on some sort of big calendar, or even a whiteboard, and they like to create their own. But a planner can be so useful, especially because we often have deadlines that we're creating and trying to hit. That being said, just a standard calendar can also be great as well, whether it's a wall calendar, little desk calendar, or some other fun way to do a calendar. We love notebooks. I love notebooks. I love notebooks of all varieties. I've got so many. Lined notebooks, big notebooks, small notebooks, notebooks with no lines. Ooh, also staff paper notebooks. Come on, that stuff's juicy. Find out if your musical theater creator has a preferred pencil or pen that they like to use. And if so, can you get them a whole bunch of those? Or if they're the super nice, super expensive ones, can you get them something special? Or even engrave it? Ooh. This may feel like it doesn't belong in this category to some of you, but trust me, it does. Does your writer or creator have a favorite kind of coffee or tea or other hot beverage? Trust me when I say it's a tool. We need it. It's next to us with all the other tools as we write. It counts. To be a little more practical, a little more expensive, computer, phone, tablet of many varieties. Do consult with people though before you go off and just buy them a device, because there are certain kinds of software that only work with certain devices, and you want to make sure that you're getting something that will actually be useful. Headphones and microphones. We often have to create demos for things, and let me tell you, having a good set of headphones and a good microphone is a game changer. And for the musicians and composers in your life, you can also potentially buy them an instrument if you have the means, or if there is a cheaper kind of instrument that they've asked for. I wouldn't necessarily spend tons and tons of money buying them something unless they're involved in that process, but I will say both my current guitar and keyboard are relatively cheap and they serve me so well. Great gifts. Category number 3, software. Okay, we could really run the gamut with software, and I really want to start off by saying that some of these are going to be buy them outright and some of them are going to be subscription. And I know that that can make it really tough to buy as a gift if it's subscription, but there are usually some sort of ways to do that. Also, I'll just mention as well for the writers and creators out there, some software has free trials or light versions. If you're interested in having a software and you want to put it on the list as a gift, check it out first. Okay, script writing software first. Just covering the big ones here. We've got Final Draft, we've got Writer Duet, we've got Celtics, and we've got my favorite, Scrivener. Now, I did a whole video about Scrivener that you can check out, and I've got a link to that one below. Check it out. It really changed the game for me. Of course, a big category here is gonna be notation software. Everyone's currently a buzz about Dorico, because Finale is shutting down, so would you like Dorico? Can I offer you? Personally, I still use Sibelius, but I will be switching to Dorico, but Sibelius still exists. You could check that one out. The other two big ones that really seem to be out there being talked about at this point in the shadow of Dorico and Sibelius are Lily Pond and Staff Pad. I've not used either of them, and I've seen kind of mixed reviews on both, but they are still being heavily talked about, so worth consideration. And then there's always a digital audio workstation, also known as a DAW. The big one and the industry standard is still Logic Pro, but you also have other ones like Pro Tools and Cubase. Oh, and Ableton, we can't forget that one. And then a piece of software that I think a lot of people forget about is website software, because hey, we are creators. We need to have places to say who we are and what we do, and here's some samples of our work. Because when you don't have that, let me tell you, and people are trying to reach you, they get really frustrated when they can't get that info, see what you look like, get a sense of your personality and the work you do. You're gonna want a website. Personally, I use Squarespace for my websites. I still think Squarespace is the best personally, but then Wix and Weebly are also very usable. There's also Yield Classic WordPress, or just throwing this out there, you could always have someone build a website for your creator. I would just be careful in that realm, because if the creator then doesn't have the ability to take ownership over that website and be able to update it themselves, that can cause problems. But if you have someone build it for them and you pay for that, and then they do have access and they are in control, well, that could be a lovely gift. Category number 4. education. For education, this is gonna fall mostly under the categories of courses and memberships. I mean, obviously I have to start by plugging my own because I think they're the best, or else I wouldn't have put them together. There is the flagship musical theater writing workshop course that I run twice per year, small cohorts, 20 weeks. Great course. And I also am the founder of the Musical Theater Writing Collective, which is an online membership for musical theater writers, the only one of its kind. We're heavily international, we're growing every day, and we do a lot of cool stuff. It's a phenomenal set of resources. Okay, I hear you, you want other options, fine. For courses, I would strongly suggest looking into the Dramatists Guild Institute. They offer a whole slew of courses every year, and they're always taught by very good and interesting people. I'm constantly tempted by all of the courses they offer, so do take a look. Similarly, and underneath the same umbrella is the Musical Creators Institute, which offers courses in musical theater writing, though I believe they just changed their structure again, not entirely sure what's happening. But they are under the Dramatists Guild Institute and well worth taking a look at. There are, of course, the graduate programs out there like NYU and Berkeley. Kind of hard to gift to someone, but perhaps you could give some money toward that education. They're both pretty expensive. But if that's really what your creator wants to do, is to go to one of those grad programs and you can help out, oh, how lovely. There is the course Pasek and Paul on songwriting for musical theater that a lot of people have been through and talked to me about. I've not been through it personally, and I've heard reviews that are mostly positive, but it is worth checking out nonetheless. There's also Tim Rice's class on Masterclass, which I do believe is all about the lyric writing side of songwriting for musical theater, and I've heard it's both entertaining and informative. And there are more courses and programs and memberships and all sorts of educational things out there. All you gotta do is look, but this is the set of things that is most discussed currently online as of the time I made this video. Category number 5, tickets and research. Y'all, the best way to learn about theater is to see more theater. Tickets are great. Now, before you come at me and say, but Broadway is so expensive. Yes, Broadway tickets are wonderful, but a couple things there. Number one, there are discount ticket sites. You don't always have to buy things at full price. And then beyond that, there's more than just Broadway. Tickets to an off-Broadway show or an off-Broadway show can be very, very welcome. Or how about touring shows or regional shows in other cities? Are there local professional productions near you, or even local amateur productions that are of great quality? And of course, if you're in another country and you're not in the US, then what do you have around you? There's theater happening everywhere all the time, and there's always tickets to purchase, and it never hurts to see more theater. That way you get to see what works and what doesn't. I did also mention research, so what's that bit about? Well, can you help with a research trip to go somewhere to see a whole bunch of shows? Got the opportunity to do that in college, and I got to see 12 shows on the West End, and it was amazing. I learned so much from seeing so many shows in a short period of time. Or does your creator have a show they're working on and writing, and it goes to a specific location? Can you sponsor a trip to that location for research purposes? And this could be just as simple as offering to pay part of the travel, a hotel accommodation, or to do something special while they're there. You could offer to go with them. This can look like 1,000 different things. It doesn't have to be an all expenses paid sort of dealio. Category 6, presentation fund. Y'all, this is a great gift. And I don't hear enough people talking about this or doing it. What is a presentation fund? Such a good question. This is a fund that you have available to you. This is not a crowdfunding campaign. You could do that, but that's a whole separate thing. That's a lot of work. A presentation fund is a fund that the creators have available to them for when a presentation comes up and they need to be paying some money to some people, because we should always be paying the artists we are hiring. So this could be for things like readings of various sizes, for workshops, for festivals. This could also be for productions. Sometimes you have to raise a little extra money for a production, or maybe you decide, you know what, I'm just gonna put on a production myself. Gotta have some funds to do that. Now, I'm not saying that as the gift you have to stock up the entire fund, but the setting up of a fund, of a bank account, of however it gets done, can feel very daunting, and if you do that piece for the creator and put in the first small amount for them, wow, what a phenomenal gift. And there are so many more ideas out there that I could not possibly even cover, but if this list doesn't get you started, I'm not even sure what will. That being said, your choice of a writing software really is one of the most critical things that you have at your disposal as a tool. And as I mentioned, I love Scrivener personally, so if you want to learn more about that particular writing software and how it might be useful for you and your writing process, then you should watch this video next. Otherwise, thank you all for being here with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!